I'm the person who's next. I'm going to do mostly things I think that I've written in the last few months. A few years ago, I got into this thing of writing every day and numbering each thing each day, and then last year I got into this thing of like making Kindle books for each month, and then this month I decided to make paperback books out of so I made a paperback book out of last month's book and the month before last book. So I'm gonna read the poems in chronological order, but the songs are gonna be out of chronological order because. So I'm gonna start with this poem, and it's poem number 1343 for this year, and so it was written in August 20th. This is Potato. I don't know if you met Potato. Okay, Potato. This is called People in Brooklyn. People in Brooklyn with their WFMU shirts and their candy asses and their kids and their cars and their dogs that will hop right into the cars. I hope we're going somewhere good, said a golden retriever from Prospect Heights. People in Brooklyn going to the park, going to museums, going to the Sit and Wonder and whatnot. People in Brooklyn are perfectly fine. I don't know why I wrote candy asses before. I don't know why I'm not taking it out. And I'm ending this one right here, even though it wants to be longer. Poem number 1344, Candy Ass. Candy Ass. Yesterday was not a dipshit day. I think I wrote a poem called Dipshit Day like a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday was not a dipshit day. I don't remember disliking anyone I saw or thinking anyone was a dipshit. I enjoyed the entire day. And the thing about candy asses is it's not even a thing. The term is candy ass. Oh, I wrote candy ass with a hyphen, which Oxford Languages defines as a timid or cowardly or despicable person. I didn't see anyone timid or cowardly or despicable in Brooklyn yesterday. In fact, out of all of the people in Brooklyn I saw yesterday, I might have been the most candy ass of them all. One more from this. Okay. Number 1345, candy asses. I don't know why I said people in Brooklyn with their candy asses. Not only did I not see anyone who was timid, cowardly, or despicable, I didn't see anyone whose ass looked like candy. I don't even know what that would mean. What kind of candy would someone's ass have to look like for me to disparage that ass by comparing it to candy? There might be some kinds of candy that are so attractive that if someone's ass looked like that candy, I might think that's a nice ass. And I wouldn't disparage it, I would admire it. But I didn't see any asses like that yesterday, nor did I see any asses that looked like ugly candy either. No beautiful candy asses and no ugly candy asses. No candy asses at all. This doesn't mean that there are no candy asses in Brooklyn. It just means that I didn't see any. Okay, that's enough for that book. Thank you. Then I'm going to ask Aaron to do a song that I wrote, I think around 2017 or 2018. It's a very simple song, but I didn't remember the words to it, and I didn't think I'd be able to do the words and play it at the same time, because I only have two hands. So between the two of us, we actually have four hands. So we actually have an extra one because I can do this with one hand, and you can do, yeah. It's called Invisible Dog. I mean, I'm not dedicating the whole set to Potato, but there is a lot of dogs coming up. You want me to show you it?
Yeah,
okay,
please.
Okay, it's like this. It goes like this. Okay. Wait, I'm not playing B, am I? Is that, well, whatever you're playing is fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dog is invisible, but he follows me around wherever I go. He takes invisible pisses on the lawn next door, and my neighbor never knows. He takes a shit in the middle of the sidewalk, and nobody sees and nobody cares and nobody notices when they step in it. My invisible dog. I usually howl during this part, but I don't know how you're gonna react to that. He barks and only I can hear it. He does incredible tricks that only I can enjoy. He eats invisible food that I buy at the invisible supermarket with my invisible money that I make at my invisible job, where I sit at an invisible desk, doing nothing all day. My invisible dog. My invisible dog. Oh. My invisible. When I come home, my dog wags his invisible tail and showers me with invisible kisses. And I love the odorless smell of his invisible dog breath. My invisible dog is very, 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 very cool. But when he dies, it will be basically the same as it is now, as if he were still here with me. Yeah, invisible dog. Anna, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So,
Joan, she wagged her tail through the whole song.
well,
And then she stopped when you finished.
oh, how sweet. Okay, so, then I noticed that this book from September, last month, had a whole series of poems about a candy cane. So, like, candy and dogs is the theme so far, but I think it stops after these. This is poem number 1447 for the year. It's written, these next 3 or 4 or 5 are from September 8th, last month. This is called Candy Cane from Last Year. Last year, I hung a couple of candy canes on the Christmas tree. I don't think my daughter likes candy canes because months after the tree was gone, the candy canes were still in the kitchen. Back in March or April or maybe June or July or maybe May, I ate one of them. Yesterday, I noticed that the other one is still here, so I temporarily moved it from the kitchen to the living room. Either I will throw the candy cane away, or I will eat it, or I will keep it until next Christmas. When it comes to the candy cane, I have no idea what I will do. Poem number 1448. Candy cane from late last year. Oh yeah. This is like to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle. Candy cane from late last year. Why on earth are you still here? Placed above my fireplace. Please don't punch me in the face. Candy cane. Anyway, poem number 1449. Candy cane. The candy cane leans against the exposed brick, looking all haughty, like it's better than me, like it knows shit. The candy cane is all like, fuck you then, eat me, go ahead and fucking eat me. Yeah, that's what I thought, you don't have the fucking stones. I could point out that I ate a candy cane sometime earlier this year, but what the fuck do I care what a fucking candy cane thinks? I don't really see the point of getting into it with the candy cane, but I will say that it's kind of acting like a piece of shit, and if the candy cane tastes anything like the way it's been acting, then I definitely don't want to eat it. Poem number 1450, The Candy Man. I feel so bad. I just went into the kitchen, and there was a man made of candy crawling on the counter, asking me if I had seen his cane. All right, that's enough. Woo! Yeah, all right. Okay. Oh, now. Thank you. Oh, I should know. So most of them have. This one is a song from this year. I don't think I have the number for it, but it's around 300 something because I wrote it in March, so maybe 400 something. So I'm a big fan of this experimental filmmaker who died 20 years ago this year, Stan Brakhage, and around that time, February, March, I was writing a lot of poems I would watch a film and I'd write a poem based on a poem. So this one that I was kind of like afraid of doing is a film that he made of 3 autopsies, just autopsies. And the film was called The Act of Seeing with One's Own Eyes because that's what the word autopsia means in Greek. That's where we get the word autopsy, the act of seeing with one's own. So anyway, I thought it might be fun to imagine if I were one of the corpses being autopsied. So how does this go? Oh yeah. called The Act of Seeing with One's Own Eyes. The body looks almost alive, almost like it is still breathing. You look like you wanna look, but looks can be deceiving. Sometimes the heart doesn't know, and sometimes the heart lies. Sometimes the only thing you can rely on is the act of seeing with one's own eyes. There it is, lying there dead, and there is no pain. There is a cutting into the head and removal of the brain. Sometimes the heart doesn't say, and sometimes the heart lies. Sometimes the only thing you can rely on is the act of seeing with one's own eyes. The scalp is slit with a scalpel, and the face is removed. All is revealed as the skin is peeled off. Nothing else left to prove. You can do what you want with me. I can't run, can't move, I can't hide. You can split me down the middle and see what's inside. Everything there is in me is here for you to analyze. Whatever you do, whatever you see, should come as no surprise. Sometimes the heart doesn't say, and sometimes the heart lies. Sometimes the only thing you can rely on is the act of seeing with one's own eyes. Sometimes the heart doesn't know, and sometimes the heart lies. Sometimes the only thing you can rely on is the act of seeing with one's own eyes. I'm going to do a couple more songs, but all of the poems, I think, are from the last week. So this is last Wednesday, poem number 1713. Internal organs. I'm grateful for my internal organs. I'm not a student of human biology, so I couldn't tell you what all of my various internal organs do, or for that matter, what yours do. But I think it's safe to say that yours do for you what mine do for me. It's good that we basically all have the same set of internal organs, because it would suck if surgeons had to reinvent the wheel every time they opened someone up. I'm glad my internal organs are basically like everyone else's, because I wouldn't want a surgeon to open me up and be like, holy fuck, what the fuck do we have here? And I'm glad my internal organs are on the inside rather than on the outside. If they were on the outside, I don't think anyone would even talk to me. If my internal organs were on the outside, I probably wouldn't go outside. This one is from last Thursday, 1718, poem number 1718. It's called Shit Coat. There ought to be a word, shit coat. When you have bad news and you want to give it to somebody straight, you say, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but this is some bad news. So if you have good news, and maybe you're hesitant to mention it because the other person is maybe having a bit of a rough time or something, but then they ask you how it's going, and you want to tell them, but you don't want to make them feel worse than they already do, you could shitcoat it. You could say it's going okay when in fact it's going tremendously well. Or you could say, I'm not going to shitcoat this, it's going tremendously wonderfully well. It seems like a necessary word. And let me tell you, if you ask me how things are going right now, and I sense that things are not going so well for you, I might shitcoat it. But then again, I might not. Poem number 1719. Oh, that's the next. This is the next one. Less clueless. he wanted to be less clueless, which meant it would probably be good if he would get into the habit of looking for clues. If he looked for clues, perhaps he would find them, and if he found clues, perhaps he would be able to have them and keep them. Then he wouldn't be quite so clueless. One day, maybe, if he kept at it, he might become clueful. That was an aspiration that he could aspire to, cluefulness. In the meantime, he would be happy just to be a little less clueless. And this is from 1720, not completely mistaken. They thought that they were onto something when they were next to something. They thought they were up to something when they were under something. They thought that they were over something when they were into something. They thought that something was watching them, which was correct. Something was watching them dance and knew just what to think. And the last poem of Thursday is 1721, possibly mistaken. They wanted to feel the earth beneath their feet, but they couldn't stop floating. And they didn't want to stop floating. So maybe they really didn't want to feel the earth beneath their feet. Okay, now I've got poems from yesterday, a poem from today, and 2 more songs. Now, see, I don't know a lot of you people, but you seem like nice people. You've tolerated stuff so far, but I don't know what you're going to think about this. So about 4 years ago, maybe 5, I started a band kind of by accident. Like 2 members of my band, the band that I had, they're called Unusual Squirrel, they couldn't make it, but the last person in the band, she said, we should just start a new band for this show. And I was like, okay. And she said, all of the band members should be women except for you. And I was like, okay. And then we had to decide what the concept of the band would be. And I thought it might be fun to make all of the songs about male sexual submission. So this band lasted like a couple of years. And like, at some point I was getting like really like running out of ideas. So like it was like November of like 3 years ago, and I was Googling shit, and I learned about this concept called Locktober, right? And so this is like, so you have to imagine, like this poem doesn't really work in October, but I mean this song, but I'm gonna, so just pretend like it's November 4th or something when I'm doing this. It goes like this. Oh, how foolish of me, the entire month went by. I only found out about it yesterday, and now I wanna cry. Just 1 month in the entire year, but I found out too late. I could have been deprived of not just sex, but even the ability to masturbate. Locktober, where the cocks are locked in cages. Locktober, to the uninitiated it sounds outrageous. Locktober, but it's getting around, yeah, it's contagious. And I'm so pissed this year I missed Locktober. To you it may seem like an imposition, but believe me, it's no loss. A cock that's free isn't all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it's more like an albatross. So next year on October, my cock will not be free. The only thing that remains to be seen is who will hold the key. Locktober, where the cocks are locked in cages. Locktober, to the uninitiated it sounds outrageous. Locktober, oh, but it's getting around, yeah, it's contagious. And I'm so pissed this year I miss. Next year, you know, it's on my list. Next year, you know, I will not miss Locktober. October, yeah. Earlier today, I fucked that song up royally, so I'm really pleased with that. You might not be, but I'm pleased, okay? I pulled that up. Okay, these are from yesterday. I'll do the, okay, yeah, I think I'm okay on time. I have like 3 or 4 from yesterday, and maybe 2 from today, and 1 more song, and then I'm good. Yeah, it doesn't feel as long as I thought it was going to feel like when I was looking at all this shit, I have to say. Maybe I'm too full of myself today. Poem number 1722, Ecstasy. Is it a certain light or a certain angle or a certain emotion or a certain confluence that draws the eye upward and seizes the seer until he sees the twisting branches of the trees and marvels in ecstasy at their intricacies? This moment of thunder-stricken consciousness is perfect. Why even ask questions? Next one is poem number 1723, Abundance. She had been receiving so many gift horses lately that occasionally she would look one in the mouth and she would find the teeth and the tongues of the horses to be perfect and beautiful. The breath of each horse was delightfully sweet, and when she looked deeply enough into the mouths of the gift horses, she found love and joy and abundance and perfection. And she felt as though she was swimming in an ocean of abundance, and she swam in the ocean for moments that seemed like eternities. Oh, that one is done. Okay. Poem number 1724. Cool. Okay. Poem number 1724. The Spatula. Suddenly a spatula appeared. An enormous, shining, glowing, glorious spatula singing a song of wonder and spatulaic praise. And the other utensils in the kitchen quivered and shook until a little teaspoon sang along with the spatula's song, and soon the entire kitchen was alive with a melody both mellifluous and ambient. Then the spatula reduced itself until it stood at 1/3 the size of an average spatula. Thank you for singing my song, the spatula said. And now let me live among you in this diminutive state, and serve the needs of the kitchen. And indeed, despite its size, the spatula found that it was able to do everything it was called upon to do. And the kitchen carried on more or less just as it had before the coming of the spatula. And one more from yesterday, and then two from today, and so on. Okay. 1726. Not sure about this one, but it's short, so you know, like, okay. The shoulders. The shoulders seemed to shrug of their own accord, as if they knew before the brain or the rest of the body knew that the answer was, I don't know. The sustained uncertainty was bearable for a time, until the shoulders dropped down and an actual answer emerged and was voiced. The shoulders were still a bit unresolved, but the shoulders stayed still. The shoulders stayed down. Okay, and then just two from today and one more song. Okay, this is poem number 1730 for the year. Discrimination. I wish happiness for all sentient beings, but I don't wish it indiscriminately. In some general, almost meaningless way, I wish that even the most hateful, awful, fucked up pieces of shit people find happiness. But I probably mostly wish for that because I am hoping that it will make those shit people stop being such goddamn fucking shits. I reserve my strongest wishes of happiness for my daughter, my mother, my siblings, my friends, the people I like, and the people I don't dislike. And only then do I attempt to radiate that wish to strangers or to people I don't care one way or the other about. And only after that do I offer well wishes to the people I really don't like or fucking hate. This is discrimination, and I don't feel good about it. But to be almost completely honest, most of the time, I don't feel bad about it either. And this is the last poem I've written so far in my entire life. Number 1733, The One Thing. They were hesitant to finish the one thing because they were ambivalent about going on to the next thing. But after hemming and hawing and grasping and clawing and crying and guffawing and painting and drawing and hooting and cawing and petting and cawing, they found that they had completed the one thing. And with great ambivalence, they went on to the next. And this last thing I'm going to do is another song. Another series of things I was doing was writing fuck songs, just songs with the word fuck in the title. A number of them are in the key of F, as this one is. You can hate yourself, you can fuck yourself, and of course you can hate fuck yourself. You can rub yourself raw until you chafe, until you bleed, and of course you can hate fuck yourself. And of course you can fuck yourself with loving tenderness, but loving tenderness isn't always so hot. guess. You can cram things down your throat until you gag, until you choke, and of course you can hate fuck yourself. You can fuck yourself with loving tenderness, but loving tenderness isn't always so hot, I guess. You can fuck your ass with dildos made of glass, and of course